Go ahead and call our meeting for September 11th, 2025 to order and turn things over to Commissioner Johnson to lead us in invocation.
Let us pray. Holy Father, please be with us this day, 24 years ago, that ingrained the United States in our minds forever. Please be with us as we do the town's business, and please be with our country as we need your guiding hand at this point in time. Things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, next up is the approval of agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Second. All right, got a first and a second. Any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next up is a proclamation for Patriot Day, September 11th, 2025. And that reads as, whereas 24 years ago, our nation watched in horror as 4 commercial airliners were hijacked and directed toward major American institutions, including the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. And whereas, as a result, nearly 3,000 men, women, and children lost their lives that day, and countless other families and loved ones felt and continue to feel the lasting impact of this tragedy. And whereas, in the aftermath of one of the worst terrorist attacks in our history, we proved that love is stronger than hate as our military, law enforcement officers, firefighters, first responders, and other emergency personnel showed true heroism and selfless courage for the safety of others. And whereas, this tragedy will always serve as a reminder of the strength, resilience, and compassion we possess in the face of devastating loss. And whereas, on this day, we should honor those who lost their lives and those who sacrificed their lives for others, including the men and women who showed bravery in responding to the attacks and aiding the victims. And whereas, we should pay tribute to their lives with service and charity towards others to ensure that our state and nation are just and inclusive places for all. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Fonzie Allen Flowers, do hereby proclaim September 11th, 2025 as Patriot Day in Youngsville, North Carolina, and urge all citizens to take a moment to commemorate the lives we lost and do our part to continue to carry forward the ideals of liberty, equality, and justice. In witness hereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause a seal of the town of Youngsville to be affixed this 11th day of September 2025.
It's really nice, Fonzie.
Thank you. Moving along, we have next up on the agenda, citizens' comments. I know we had one that signed up in advance. We've got a couple that have signed up here recently. So I believe Mr. Rizzo, you were up first.
Can I ask if Mr. Gerose goes first?
You cannot ask any questions in this meeting. If you want David to go first, we can pivot to David and then come back to you.
Thanks.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm going to take 1 minute for one topic, 1 minute for another topic, and then 3 minutes. My third.
That's not how that works, David, but
Yeah.
feel free to go right ahead.
It's his other personality.
So, as a recent graduate of the Youngsville Citizens Police Academy, I want to thank Chief Whitley.
Wisniewski?
Corporal Wisniewski. They did a fantastic job of introducing the whole concept of police protection and what their roles are in the society and how we as citizens can help out. And I want to strongly encourage others to consider participating in that and to continue with that Citizens Academy. I mean, it was eye-opening, and I respect our police officers that much more because of what we went through. Second comment has to do with, I don't know what's going on in America today, but if you see or hear something that you don't think is right and you don't speak out, then shame on you. So if you hear stuff that isn't right, that's inflammatory, that could lead to violence, come on. Let's nip it in the bud and talk about it. We don't need to resort to violence. And now for the real reason I'm here. Sesquicentennial, come on, guys, we got to get back on the bandwagon. I just handed out the 20th anniversary of the Fall Festival. We made sure to note that it's sesquicentennial Fall Festival. And I'm here to ask the board if you guys would consider waiving the fees for the permit and for the police to come and help direct traffic. It's a huge event. And, I wish we were making hundreds of thousands of dollars at this event, but we're trying to raise money just for the bounce houses for this thing.
Sure.
So I would just ask for you all to make that consideration and see if you can help us out.
That is part of the consent agenda. That is part of the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you.
We got you.
Thank you, David. All right, Mr. Rizzo.
Yes. I'll keep it brief. I just want to add to the public record an incident that we witnessed on North Cross and East Franklin. Saturday, we had a Cisco Food Services delivery truck who does not deliver to the restaurant come south off of 96 through the neighborhood and down Cross Street. And in his rush, not only did he get tangled up in the overhead lines and pull down 2 electrical poles, but he didn't stop. He didn't budge, he didn't move, except to move away from the incident. At worst, this is malignant negligence. At best, this is just a guy who wasn't aware of his surroundings. And that kind of brings me to my next point. You can see in the email, and I started kind of from latest to last. I had asked Sergeant Simpson if there was any way that we could help control a pretty significant influx of heavy truck traffic in the neighborhood going by Commissioner Johnson and our home. I add this because I think it's pretty pertinent to some of the things that we deal with as a community east of the railroad tracks and north of Main Street. I'm not prescient. I'm certainly not a prophet, and I doubt that I will this into existence. But it is kind of ironic that within a matter of a week and a half, after we saw an increase in truck traffic, we had this incident that not only exposed the residents of the neighborhood to more danger than what we're already exposed to, but of course it took North Cross Street Station offline for extended periods and directly impacted their business. I've called Cisco to start getting upstream of this, and have sent it to our town manager, Nathan Page. I can't obviously thank our first responders and our law enforcement enough. I think you can see in here, Sergeant Simpson makes a good point. They are doing everything they can. And not only are they doing everything that they can, they're doing it well, and they're doing it beyond what we should expect from them as a community that's dealing with the 96 issues coming through our neighborhood. My only request here, guys, I don't want this to seem punitive. This is not an accelerator of us pointing the finger. What we are asking is that as we continue to move towards a resolution with NCDOT on the bypass, we also emphasize to the best of our ability and within the realm of reason for our first responders and our taxpayers, how can we protect not just the infrastructure, but the people that have to rely on that infrastructure? I think there are some short-term opportunities, signage, visibility, and otherwise an opportunity to let people know when they are approaching the neighborhood that this is a restricted zone, both in speed and in payload. But I also hope that we can continue to work together for longitudinal resolutions that we can start implementing prior to potentially the decade that we're going to wait for some of the bypass resolution. I know I'm over time. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Madam Clerk, for putting this into the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rizzo.
Thank you.
And now, did Mrs. Rizzo want to speak as well? Okay.
I sit in here. Sorry, guys, it's a real Rizzo night tonight.
Did you bring in your tardy slip? I saw you come in after the meeting started.
Sorry. So I know we've been here a lot trying to draw attention to our neighborhood. and the traffic safety concerns. And you guys have been great to work with us, even though some of us can be a little persistent and maybe overly passionate about some stuff. But you guys have been great. The problem is that things are getting bad at such an alarming rate, and YPD, like Mason said, is really awesome, but like can't be there all the time. So I wanted to take the opportunity. I know Mason talked about the lights in the power pole. I want to tell you guys about some other stuff that has happened in our neighborhood, just to give you an idea of what we deal with. We had our third neighbor in the past 6 months call us to tell us that she almost got hit on Crossing Franklin, and to ask us to flag. Everybody knows we have the cameras going, and so they all called us and asked Mason to flag their incident on the camera. So that was the third one in the last 6 months. Mason and I had an incident where we were trying to coax a kitten from the culvert pipe under our driveway, which puts us about, a foot or so from the road. And this guy that we ended up finding out does this every day, drove down our street, did stop at the stop sign, floored it down the street. We yelled because we were right there to please stop speeding. He went to the end, turned around, came back, floored it again with his window down to yell at us for what we were doing. And since then, we do see him every day in the neighborhood. He does speed, but now he likes to lay on his horn as he passes our house, just to, I guess, let us know. He's still angry about that. There was one Sunday morning where a man got out of his car and actually wanted to fight Mason, because Mason was in the street and got in his way, the man that was driving. So that was a thing. And then we had the semi that came through and pulled down the power lines. And my question actually about that I asked Mason, and he thought was a good question, was if he was paying so little attention that he didn't realize he pulled down 2 power poles and lines and left, what if he hit a kid or a car or one of us taking our trash out? Like, it's getting dangerous. It's not, Mason talks a lot about the speeding and the stop sign and then, not paying attention, all that stuff. But we have real concerns beyond even those. We see aggression more and more. And, we know to truly fix all of the problems we have, we need a lot of infrastructure. We need money. We need the bypass. We need sidewalks. We need this. We need that. We need that. But, in addition to signage, I think that we can do more. I think we can do social media campaigns. We can, have flyers that we pass out. We can put things up in businesses. But I think it's really important that we start to focus on, and not just in our neighborhood, pedestrian safety and speeding through Youngsville as a town. It's bad out there. I'm sure many people have had their own issues with that. I think the work you've done on the bypass and getting it to move forward has been phenomenal. I think it's been a long time coming. And I think it's what will help this town a whole lot. But what I'm asking that you remember is that your residents need to feel safe on the streets right now, not when the bypass comes. We can't wait for that relief. Like in 2025, where the boiling point is like, I'm just worried that the boiling point is going to come and it's going to be bad. And it's kind of scary, really scary, especially in our neighborhood, certain times of the day and certain times of the week. And, we live here because we love Youngsville. We picked this place to live and we really do enjoy it here, but we didn't think we would have this, not in downtown. We wanted to walk to the shops and take our dogs out and do all the cool, fun things that we get to do living downtown, and we can't do that anymore. And so we just need help. Whatever you guys can do, we'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, that was all that we had listed here. Is there anyone else that would like to give a citizen's comment prior to us moving along? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll move along into the approval of the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, got a first and a second. Any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. There is no old business. So we'll move along to item 7, new business. which is item A, annexation agreement between the towns of Youngsville and Wake Forest. The action requested here is to set a public hearing for October 9th, 2025. Mr. Dorfer, did you have anything that you would like to add to that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just read the background into the record, sir. So towns manage for planning and development ordinances within their extraterritorial jurisdictions or ETJ, which may extend up to 1 mile past the contiguous town limits, depending on the population of the town. The towns of Wake Forest and Youngsville each have ETJs and town limits within 1 mile of each other and cannot exercise ETJ authority over the same parcels. In 2007, both towns adopted a annexation agreement and drew a line. It's time for us to update that agreement. It'll expire soon. So the new agreement doesn't really change anything. The line is the same. The only thing it does is a 10-year term instead of a 20-year term. It does require notice given if annexations are proposed within 1,000 feet of the line. So with that, there's no direct fiscal impact. However, this agreement will prevent potential misunderstandings in the future. And staff recommendation is to review and discuss the agreement and possible for the October meeting.
Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns from the commissioners that Mr. Dorfer can help answer or explain? All right. Hearing none, again, the action requested here is to set public hearing for October 9th, 2025.
Move to set public hearing.
Second. All right, got a first and a second. Any discussion before we move to vote? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. And now we're into reports and other business, and I'm at the top of that list, so I'll go ahead and go first. I want to commend everyone for a fantastic National Night Out. It was initially scheduled for a previous date, but weather, as it does in the summer of North Carolina, can be a bear. So we had to pivot and have it last Friday. I thought it was very well attended. It was really cool to see all of our first responders out. It was really cool of the Kiwanis to offer up some smiling faces, to have people throw water sponges and things like that at them to keep them cool. Don't tempt me, David. No, no, but it really was a great turnout. I thought it was pretty awesome that the helicopter was there. I think that was a big draw for people to see. And then this past Saturday, I had the privilege of speaking to the fire department and the CERT team there, giving a speech last Saturday for the work that they performed during Hurricane Helene. It was an amazing event. Even leading up to that, the reason for the ceremony was to recognize the many volunteers that came in and answered 211 calls when Asheville and then Raleigh were inundated with 211 calls. So these guys at the fire department essentially shut down operations at that location to turn it into a call center. And the community rose, I feel like, very well and high above expectations in helping out total strangers. And I think it says a lot about our community as a whole. When the chips are stacked against us, we just kind of respond, and we always lead by example. So want to give a shout out to the fire department and the CERT team for getting all that stuff together. Again, amazing day. Hopefully we don't have anything like that in the very near future, but I feel like if and when we do, we're very well positioned and very well prepared. So thank you guys. That is it for me. I'm sure I have forgotten something, and that's why I always pivot to the commissioners to see what they have to say. Commissioner Red.
Well, hello.
Hello.
I have nothing, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Pershing.
Well, Mr. Jerose kind of beat us to the punch on it. He handed this out to us, but for anybody that didn't get one, I'm sure he might have more copies for you. October 11th is the annual Fall Fest in Youngsville and car show. If you got a cool car, bring it out. It's $25. You got to spare $25. It's fine. Fun zones for kids, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I like that you gave this to me because now I don't have to go through my phone and figure out exactly the time because that's what I always mess up on. But yeah, so come on out, enjoy some more stuff between Kiwanis and Grace and Faith. I mean, they're hosting great events with the town.
Absolutely. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Commissioner Bray.
I also want to commend the group on the National Night Out. Selfishly, I was glad it was rescheduled because I had a conflict for the original date. So it was a great night out with the community and our first responders. And speaking of first responders, we have the EMS and Rescue Squad tournament October 3rd coming up. So there's flyers posted online. So if you're available, that's a Friday. It is moving to Zebulon this year, so change of scenery there, but it's always a great event. It's very similar to our Parks and Rec event. So if you can come out and support. And then finally, we talked about the bypass some tonight in citizens' comments. And I'm excited to announce that the project has moved further along than it ever has in the Campo SIP process. So at the last meeting, it was announced that the bypass project has been selected for spot 8, which is the prioritization. And this is the 8th cycle, so that's what the 8 stands for. And the next step will be entered for scoring. And so this is the vehicle for getting into the state transportation improvement plan. So this is the furthest we've gotten it along. And I'm going to credit that to the work that this board and the town staff have done, putting together different ways of completing this bypass instead of just sitting around waiting. We've taken it in different pieces and done what we can, and splitting it up and getting pieces accomplished in different ways has made the project more suitable for funding, more competitive for funding. So we cut the distance in half of the bypass that needs to be funded at this point. So still a long ways to go, but great news that this is the furthest we've gotten it along. So at the next meeting, we'll be voting to meeting next Wednesday. We'll vote to approve it, and I expect it to be unanimously approved. So that's all I have.
All right. Thank you for that update.
Well done.
Commissioner Johnson.
Well, I guess, I don't know if everybody in the room knows that the mayor and I, work at the same place, and I go throughout the southeastern United States, including North Carolina, and Mayor Flowers goes, to a lot of functions in the state of North Carolina. But we get to see firsthand of all the workings of towns, counties. See, one of our esteemed county commissioners are here tonight. Clerks, school superintendents, school associations, anything that deals with a community. We see it on a full-time basis, day in and day out. We're in all parts of the state, all parts of the southeastern United States. And I can tell you, every time that we go to one of these conferences or any kind of gathering, we kind of look at each other and say, we really got it lucky where we're at from an employee standpoint, from a police standpoint, from an emergency standpoint, from a county standpoint. We really got a good situation because we have our problems just like everybody else. But I'm telling you, there's a lot worse problems out there to have. We hear them and we deal with them. So I'll just, tip my hat to the folks involved that are sitting here that do the day-to-day stuff. The police, the clerks, our management. You guys do a fantastic job. And we, as a board, it's appreciative to walk into that every time. So thank you. Mayor.
Well said.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. And Commissioner Wiggins? All right. I'm going to echo. I feel like, Chief, didn't we just have that conversation on Saturday? That it's such a great time to be here in Youngsville right now? Okay. Yeah, thank you for that, Commissioner Johnson, because I think that was very well said and very much appreciated. Now I've got a letter that I want to read from Mr. Nathan Page. And go ahead and just kind of jump into it. Dear Mayor Flowers, it is with truly heavy heart that I submit my resignation as Youngsville's town manager, effective at the end of the day on January 2nd, 2026. Having served in this role for the past 4.5 years, I have grown to deeply love this community, the place itself, and even more so, the people who call it home. The longest running Christmas parade in the state will always be something I am grateful to have been a part of. This position has been, without question, the most rewarding and meaningful chapter of my professional life. The trust placed in me, the challenges we have tackled together, and the progress we have achieved as a team will always remain among my proudest memories. While my decision was not made lightly, I have chosen to take the coming years to fulfill a lifelong dream to live aboard a sailboat and explore the breadth of the Atlantic Ocean. It is an adventure I wish to embark upon while I'm still in good health and able to embrace the demands and rewards of life at sea. Leaving this role will be bittersweet. I hate to step away from such fulfilling work and the extraordinary colleagues and neighbors I have been privileged to serve alongside. Yet I know the time is right to take the next step, confident that the town's future is bright. Please know that I remain committed to ensuring a smooth and seamless transition. My dedication to this community will endure no matter where the tides carry me. Nice ocean pun there. With deepest gratitude and respect, Nathan Page. Now, I know that may come as a surprise to some of you that are here. It was not too much of a surprise for us because as I was trying to pivot and talk about how awesome we are and how we're all going to ride off into the sunset together when I'm old enough to retire and he's old enough to retire. And he kind of jokingly said, yeah, that's going to be a little bit sooner than what you think. So he's in a position to where he's got a passion for doing something and he's got the financial means to make it happen. And I told him he needs to go for it. I think it's a great thing for him to be able to do because how many people can do what they truly love to do this early in life without having to fully be retired. So we commend him for his work in the town of Youngsville. The one thing that I asked him, and he was willing, very willing to do so, because he wanted to be gone by now. And I asked him, with everything that we have going on from sesquicentennial to bypass to traffic enforcement and safety in our neighborhoods, he agreed to stick around until the very beginning of January to help with the transition. One thing that I will say is just to kind of give a brief rundown of time frame and timeline. I believe tomorrow we'll be kind of hitting the North Carolina League of Municipalities and the ICMA sites to get some notifications out. We've got a couple of months to go through the interview process. Obviously, we want to have. Go get them, boys. We want to have everything kind of solidified by December, so it's an absolutely smooth and seamless transition. So again, if there's any questions of me, I can be around after the meeting. This is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing from our perspective because of the past 4.5 years. The trust and the growth that we've had together has been tremendous, but you can't knock someone for wanting to go do something that they love to do. And so having said that, I'm going to go ahead and pivot into, we do have a hopefully brief closed session that we need to go into. I sure did. Well, so now we'll pivot into Ms. Katie Barber Jones.
I don't have much to report. We anticipate closing on the right of way through the Noctis parcel in the next week or two. All the attorneys have agreed on the documents. It's just getting all the signatures and the check.
Okay.
Other than that, no public business to report.
Okay, thank you for that. I apologize for skipping that. And Mr. Dorfer, I'll start with you and I'll end up with Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir. So now that Stephen has been on staff for about 3 months, we've identified some areas for increased efficiencies. One of those areas is changing the solid waste collection schedule to Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll be collecting trash and recycling on the same day, beginning October 14th. Give us plenty of time to go do outreach. So we'll be doing social media posts. We've got bill inserts and postcards all that kind of stuff. I have some ideas to shoot some videos, Mayor, do some, is this recycling or not? So we'll talk about that later.
All right.
So, beginning of October 13th, the Monday route will be collected on Wednesday. Along with trash and recycling. The Tuesday route will stay the same. Trash and recycling will be collected on Tuesday. Monday will be yard waste and other organic materials, so grass clippings, all that stuff. So people who are doing yard work over the weekend, that'll get picked up first thing Monday instead of sitting out until Tuesday. And then bulky waste will be collected in the afternoons on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. One thing that we've discovered is taking our recycling to the transfer station instead of all the way to Sunoco will save a lot of time and allow us to get a lot more done. So doing it this way will basically get an extra day a week that we don't currently have to do everything.
Go back. Yeah.
So we're really excited about this change. Again, doing a full court press, make sure everybody's aware. Cart tags, door hangers, any opportunity we get to pass out the work, we're going to make sure everybody's aware of it. And hopefully this will be the last change for a while. So, and then I do want to give a shout out to our public works crew. I'll scroll back up here to some pictures. This ditch is it's a this is the before picture, and the ditch was filled in accidentally, and we won't name who filled it in. But it needed to be fixed because every time it rained, the storm sewer manhole cover would pop off in the middle of Main Street. And that's not an ideal situation for traveling public. And so our, if you remember, the board approved a line item for equipment rental in this year's budget. So we took advantage of that line item. We rented a mini excavator. Fortunately, we've got Steven, who's got some skill operating a mini excavator. And this is the after picture. So you can see he really took some pride and care in putting that ditch back in. We've stabilized it with grass seed. Hopefully that'll grow up real nice and it'll be a normal operating ditch. And this is an experimental thing. So the total cost was about $1,600, including labor and about 23 man hours. So there are some opportunity costs. So was there something else we should have been doing at the time? Maybe, maybe not. So we'll continue to experiment with this and pilot and make sure that this is the best use of our time. So want to thank those guys for their hard work on that. And that's all I've got, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Madam Clerk, did you have anything you needed to add?
I touched on this last month, the trick or treat on Main. Will also include trick or treat the trails being moved from the Luddy Park to Main Street. That will be Friday, October 24th from 4 to 7. Costume contest for both humans and dogs will take place at 6 o'clock at the Yacht Club stage. We will be turning the community house into a haunted house, so please come in and enjoy. There will also be, we call them vendors. It's not a vendor event, but local businesses that aren't on Main Street will also set up tables or a trunk or treat in the Winslow lot. And we'll have the bouncy houses and other, everything that we had at the Luddy Park will be shifted over onto Main Street. So it'll be all more inclusive. Everybody will be in the same spot. And that's it for me.
Just to kind of put a button on the Mr. Page news. I got a text here. Looking at a rainbow and a sunset after swimming with dolphins next to a beach where we had the only footprints. But thinking of y'all.
Rub it in.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for always being so gracious to Kristen and I. So yeah, I think he's ready. Yeah, and he's rubbing it in. So
He's not here today because
he's on vacation. It's his 10-year.
Yeah.
It's his 10-year anniversary.
he wished to be here today, but
I mean,
his anniversary, there's not much option when it's your anniversary.
I mean, he did tell me in the past to run off into the sunset's a great idea, but he don't want to be looking at me. He wants to look at his wife. And again, I don't blame him for that. So, And again, I apologize for kind of skipping ahead, but sometimes you get these papers stacked in front of you and you kind of lose track of where you are. So we do have a closed session on the agenda. Item A, North Carolina General Statutes 142-318.11A5 to establish or to instruct the public body staff or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the public body in negotiation, I, the price and other material terms of a contract or proposed contract for the acquisition of real property by purchase, option, exchange, or lease. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion if we can have a short recess in between.
Do you need a short recess?
I need a short recess.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and go into closed
Yep.
session, then we'll take a quick recess.
Make a
Motion.
motion for closed session.
Second.
All right, got a first and a second. Any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? No. All right. Going to a quick, like, what, 3 minutes? Got a closed session, so entertain a motion to re-enter open session.
Motion to enter open session.
Second.
All right, any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're back in open session. And now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, got a first and a second. Any discussion before we move to vote? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.